Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Grandma Dee and we are back for a very special story time tonight. Today is Christmas Eve and it is December 24th, 2024, and it's dark outside and we are waiting for Santa. And I hope that you have had a wonderful day today. And I hope that you got a couple of nice gifts and that you are ready to do a very special story time with Grandma tonight. I have for us tonight Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is a classic story, and I'm sure that you're going to love it. Look at that. Look at his big red nose. Isn't he something else? I'm so excited to be able to read this story with you. And I hope that you're all tucked in bed with your brand new Christmas jammies or your favorites. And you maybe have a brand new toy you're tucked in with tonight, or maybe you've got that very special dolly or teddy bear that means so much to you. So get all snuggled in and get ready because we are going to read a wonderful story together tonight. So let's get started. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Do you have snow at your house? I have a lot of snow here, and I think it's going to stick around for a while. So we have a white Christmas. I'm super excited about that. I hope you can see. 'Twas the day before Christmas, and all through the hills the reindeer were playing, enjoying their spills, while every so often they'd stop to call names at one little deer not allowed to play games. Ha ha, look at Rudolph, his nose is a sight. It's red as a beet, twice as big and twice as bright. While Rudolph just cried, what else could he do? He knew that the things they were saying were true. Where most reindeers' noses are brownish and tiny, poor Rudolph's was red, very large, and quite shiny. In daylight it sparkled, the picture shows that. At nighttime it glowed like the eyes of a cat. There's Rudolph with his red nose. What do you think about how the mother deer were treating him? Although he was lonesome, he was always good, obeying his parents as good reindeer should. That's why on this day, Rudolph almost felt playful. He hoped that from Santa, soon driving his sleigh full of presents and candy and dollies and toys for good little animals, good girls and boys, he'd get just as much, and this is what pleased him, as the happier, handsomer reindeer who teased him. So as night and a fog hid the world like a hood, he went to bed, hopeful. He knew he'd been good. So there's Rudolph, all tucked in bed, waiting for Santa. He's got a little Santa snow globe and his favorite little airplane and a picture of his family. While way up north on the same foggy night, old Santa was packing his sleigh for its flight. This fog, he called out, will be hard to get through. He shook his round head and his tummy shook too. Without any stars or a moon as our compass. This extra dark night is quite likely to swamp us. To keep from collisions, we'll have to fly slow. To see where we're going, we'll have to fly low. We'll steer by the street lamps and houses tonight in order to finish before it gets light. And just think how the boys' and girls' hopes would be shaken if we didn't reach them before they awaken. Santa's drinking his hot cocoa, looking outside, preparing for his flight. All his elves are packing the sleigh with presents. It's getting close. Come Dasher, come Dancer, come Prancer and Vixen. Come Comet, come Cupid, come Donner and Blitzen. Be quick with your suppers, get hitched in a hurry. You too will find a fog, a delay, and a worry. Oh, look at that. Look at the polar bears and the seals all looking up at Santa as he's taking off on his sleigh. And Santa was right, as he usually is. The fog was as thick as soda's white fizz. He tangled in treetops again and again and barely missed hitting a huge speeding plane. But not getting lost needed all Santa's skill. With street size signs and numbers more difficult still. He still made good speed with much twisting and turning. As long as the street lamps and house lights were burning. At each house, first checking what people might live there, he'd quickly pick out the right presents to give there. Oh, look at, he just missed that plain voice hanging onto his hat. Doesn't want to lose his hat. But lights will be out after midnight, he said, for even most parents then have gone to bed. Because it might wake them, a match was denied him. Oh my, how he wished for just one star to guide him. Through the dark streets and houses, old Santa did poorly. He now picked the presents more slowly and less surely. He really was worried, for what would he do if folks started waking before he was through? Oh no, he looks a little worried, scratching his head. He's not sure. He's not sure. Look at all the beautiful street lamps. Isn't that beautiful? The night was still foggy and not at all clear when Santa arrived at the home of the deer. Onto the roof, with the clouds all around it, he searched for the chimney and finally found it. The room he came down in was blacker than ink. He went for a chair, but it turned out a sink. The first reindeer bedroom was so very black, he tripped on the rug and burst open his pack. So dark that he had to move closer to the bed and peek very hard at the sleeping deer's head. Before he could choose the right kind of a toy, a doll for a girl, or a train for a boy, there he is going down the roof. Here he's fallen and burst open his pack. What do you think's going to happen? But all this took time and filled Santa with gloom while feeling his way toward the next reindeer's room. The door he just opened, when to his surprise, a soft glowing red-colored light met his eyes. The lamp wasn't burning. The light came instead from something that lay at the head of the bed. And there lay, but wait now, what would you suppose? The glowing, you've guessed it, was Rudolph's red nose. So this room was easy, this one little light. Let Santa pick quickly the gifts that were right. You can see Rudolph's nose there. Santa's so excited. Oh, that looks like such a cozy bed, and he's got his little stocking there. How cute! How happy he was till he went out the door. The rest of the house was black as before. So black that it made every step a dark mystery. And then came the greatest idea in all history. He went back to Rudolph and started to shake him. Of course, very gently, in order to wake him. And Rudolph could hardly believe his eyes. You just can imagine his joy and surprise at seeing who stood there a paw's length away and told of the darkness and fog and delay and Santa's great worry that children might waken before his complete Christmas trip had been taken. Look at Santa's telling Rudolph the whole story, and Rudolph is paying so close attention. And you, he told Rudolph, may yet save the day. Your bright shining nose, sun, can show us the way. I need you, young fellow, to help me tonight, to lead all my dear on the rest of our flight. And Rudolph broke out in such a big grin, it almost connected his ears to his chin. He scribbled a note to his folks in a hurry. I've gone to help Santa, he wrote. Do not worry. Said Santa, meet me in my sleigh on the lawn. You'd stick in the chimney, and flash, he was gone. So Rudolph pranced out through the door very gay and took his proud place at the head of the sleigh. His mother and dad are sleeping in bed, and he's heading outside to meet Santa. What a brave little dear. The rest of the night, well, what would you guess? Old Santa's idea was a brilliant success. And brilliant was almost no word for the way that Rudolph directed the deer in the sleigh. In spite of the fog, they flew quickly and low and made such good use of the wonderful glow that shone out from Rudolph at each intersection that not even once did they lose their direction. Oh, Rudolph must be so proud at the head of the sleigh. See the owl in the sky? Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful picture. I'm so proud of Rudolph, aren't you? At all of the houses and streets with a sign on them, the sleigh flew real low so Rudolph could shine on them to tell who lived where and just what to give whom. They'd stop by each window and peek in the room. Old Santa knew always which children were good and minded their parents and ate as they should. So Santa would pick out the gift that was right, with Rudolph close by making just enough light. So all went so fast that before it was day, the very last present was given away. The very last stocking was filled to the top, just as the sun was preparing to pop. Look at that. Rudolph is giving him a glow so he can see inside of his pack and give that little boy his very special presents. The sun woke the reindeer in Rudolph's hometown. They found the short message that he'd written down, then gathered outside to await his return. And when they were surprised and excited to learn that Rudolph, the ugliest deer of them all, Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, bashful and small, the funny-faced fellow they'd always called names and practically never allowed in their games, was now to be envied by all far and near, for no greater honor can come to a deer than riding with Santa and guiding his sleigh, the number one job on the number one day. Oh, look at that. Here they come. Here they come. And the sun's coming up. There's his parents. So proud of their son. The sleigh and its reindeer soon came into view, and Rudolph still led them. Downward they flew. Oh my, he was proud as they came to a landing, right where his handsomer playmates were standing. What do you think? Who do you think was more handsome, Rudolph or his other playmates? The same deer who used to do nothing but tease him would now have done anything only to please him. They felt even sorrier they had been bad when Santa said, Rudolph, I never have had a deer quite so brave or brilliant as you at fighting back fog and at steering me through. By you, last night's journey was actually bossed. Without you, I'm certain we'd all have been lost. I hope you'll continue to keep us from grief on future dark trips as Commander-in-Chief. While Rudolph just blushed from his head to his toes, till all of his fur was red as his nose. Aw, look at Rudolph. He's so happy and so proud. Santa's so proud of him. I think all of his fellow deer may have learned a valuable lesson that day. The crowd first applauded, then started to screech, Hooray for our Rudolph, and we want a speech. But Rudolph, still bashful, despite being a hero, was tired. His sleep on the trip totaled 0. So that's why his speech was quite short and not bright. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. He's so happy. All his friends learned a valuable lesson that day. Maybe there's more to someone than what they look like. And that's why whenever it's foggy and gray, it's Rudolph the red-nosed who guides Santa's sleigh. Be listening this Christmas, but don't make a peep. 'Cause that late at night, children should be asleep. The very first sound that you'll hear on the roof, that is, if there's fog, will be Rudolph's small hoofs. And soon after that, if you're still as a mouse, you may hear a swish as he flies round the house and shines enough light to give Santa a view of of you and your room. And when they're all through, oh, look at, there's Rudolph in the window. The little girl is listening very closely, trying to hear. Her little puppy's on the bed sleeping. You may hear them call as they drive out of sight. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Oh, there they go. What a lovely story. What a lovely story. And the last page, Merry Christmas. There's Frosty and all the animals that helped him. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Well, I hope that you enjoyed reading Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with me tonight. And if you made it through the whole story and you're still here, I want you to know that Grandma Dee loves you very much. You're very special to me. And no matter where you are in this great big world, Grandma Dee sends you warm Christmas holiday hugs and butterfly kisses. And I hope that Santa comes to see you tonight. And I hope that you've been a good little boy or a good little girl. I love you. I think about you. I care about you. And I hope you're well. So with our story time over for tonight, you get all snuggled down and go to sleep. And Santa will be there. I love you. You have a wonderful night. And I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye for now.